Hi, this is Peter Meehan, and I will be doing my book talk about Sarah Ahmed's Being the Change Lesson and Strategies to Teach Social Comprehension. So, before we start, I'd like to use the quote on the back of the book as it's a pretty good entryway into what the book is about and how we can use it as teachers for our professional development. Uh, the quote goes, "There is no magic formula for making the world a better place. It happens in moments we embrace discomfort and have candid conversations." So, with that being said, what this book talks about is that we, as teachers, cannot possibly avoid difficult conversations with students, and because their lives exist outside of school, they are affected by many different things uh, that don't exist in the classroom. They are, for the example, this year the upcoming election is going to uh, students are going to have a lot of questions and a lot of feelings about that. Um, Students have family and friends, or they themselves have been affected by uh, issues such as war and climate change and migration, and students have been the subject of prejudice, behavior, and political turmoil. All these things they are bringing with them to the classroom, and even if we could shut that outside world and avoid it and not talk about it at all, that doesn't mean that we should, because if we don't address these issues, students are going to have to figure out how to deal with them on their own. And it's not such an easy thing to do. It's a very complex thing, and they need a guide to help them navigate different uh, social emotional uh, challenges that come up. And we can do that through modeling such behavior and doing practices with them so that they have some that Ahmed calls social comprehension, being able to understand how you feel about something, how other people feel about something, how your actions will affect others, and how we need each other to make effective change. So, the book can basically be broken down into two main focuses. The first is identity. What makes us us, and how our identities connect us to others. So, in the very beginning of the book, Ahmed has her students perform tasks where they really think about who they are as a person. What do they call themselves? Are they leaders? Are they funny? Are they do they belong to a certain culture, a certain race? Um, what have other people called them, or what do other people think about them? How do they affirm their own values in the face of other people and other values? The second thing we part of identity is recognizing how our identities affect how we understand the world around us. It provides context. We can all see the same thing, hear the same voice, but we will understand it differently based on our prior experiences. Um, so, and our intentions are not the only thing that matters. We have to think about how what we say and do is going to affect other people, because if we don't do that, then we will never socially comprehend each other. We will never understand each other. We will only be polarized. Excuse me. The second main idea that Ahmed focuses on is focusing on candidness. Candidness is not the same as honesty uh, to Ahmed. Candidness, honesty is being truthful about yourself, which is fine, but candidness is taking a step forward and it's being truthful with other people. Not so that means listening with love and responding with respect. I'm listening and open to your ideas. I'm not just talking. I'm not waiting to talk. I'm waiting to interpret what you're saying and think about your perspective. I'm recognizing my own biases and how that can both be good for me, but it can also limit me because I'm not taking other people's perspectives into account. And so I need to learn to value what other people have to say about an issue, even if I don't agree about it, especially if I don't agree about it. Um, and I need to take a learning stance, right? This is a candidness. This is being humble. This is saying, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn. And I'm willing to work with other people to learn about the world and make real change. So, throughout these, these are all nice ideas, but in actuality, a lot of teachers might struggle to implement these ideas and make these ideas like actually practical for students. So what Ahmed does is she focuses on this through literacy and tough conversations. For example, for figuring out one's identity, you can make what is up here is called an identity map, right? It's kind of like you center the student's name, they start thinking about different aspects of themselves, and then it goes and further develops as we explore identity and how not just how we identify ourselves, but how other people might identify us. We might start adding things about how we affirm our values. Like what they say about me does not change who I am as a person because I am strong, I am powerful. Um, let's see. Reflection is a huge component to having these tough conversations. Self-reflection and so there's a lot of, at first I thought, now I think T charts that are being used at the end of each lesson plan that is given. I forgot to mention. Every chapter is structured on an idea and has lesson plans to give you examples of how you could develop them in the classroom. Uh, Mini inquiries and source analysis, right? Like, how do we judge something as being truthful? Do they have biases in their reports? Extended letter writing. There's this great activity where we have to consider other people's perspectives, where one person writes after 2 minutes, you have to switch papers, read what the other person said, and kind of respond to that as you continue to develop your letter. And that teaches kids to really value each other's opinions and modify what they say so that they're not coming out super aggressive, but trying to get the other person to their side. Um, there's also great graphic organizers uh, for taking other people's views, which is analysis, but also evaluating, like this my news, my what's my news, my thinking, my identity, my ideas for action. Right, it's what's affecting me right now. What am I thinking when I encounter this event? How does my identity context how I'm interpreting it? What do I do to move forward to make things better? Um, so overall, I think it's a great book. It's very easy to read. It's decently short at about 134 pages, and you can pick and choose the lessons at your will. It really integrates a lot of good reading and writing strategies into lessons. Like I said, there's lots of graphic organizers like T charts or pre-writing things, read aloud, think alouds, um, the extended writing letters, all great stuff. Uh, it focuses a lot on social emotional learning skills, so that's great for kids because we're not just here to be academic instructors, but we're also teaching them how to be better humans. So, learning how to recognize and manage your own emotions, understanding how other people recognize and manage their own emotions, make responsible decisions, right? Not impulsive, emotional ones, and developing relationship skills to come together rather than split apart. And this is really important for classrooms that are becoming more diverse. There's more perspectives, there's more differences between students. That's not a bad thing, but we need to know how to navigate that. Uh, and especially in polarized learning environments, right? Especially this year with an election coming up, I'm expecting some tense and tough conversations during civics, but I feel much more ready having read this. Ways that it could be better building off of that polarized learning environment. Um, Again, I think this book is great. Like it does a lot of things right, But for social comprehension, I think there could be more focus or at least more options for digital literacy. Uh, Ways that students can participate in class, communicate with each other, and work together uh, on online spaces, because the book even admits that the internet used to be this online neighborhood community that was supposed to bring people together, and what it's really resulted in is a lot of individualized islands, so to speak, of echo chambers. People just listening to people who look, sound, and talk like themselves. So some examples I thought about is Jamboards for putting up notes and just observations and all that kind of stuff. And the same thing goes for Pear Deck. And Pear Deck can also be used for reflections, and also how to use Google Classroom to discuss and work to collaborate with one another. So overall, I think it's a really good book, and I would recommend it to anyone, especially a new teacher. Thank you.